Thanks for joining us. We are Deplorable Rhetoric on WSTBR. Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. You can also reach us on Facebook at Deplorable Rhetoric, on Instagram, Deplorable_Rhetoric, and on Twitter, we rant the number 2 rate.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to She's the Boss Radio Network, 24 hours, 7 days a week, focused on topics to build, strengthen, inspire, as well as motivate men, women, and youth from the home to the conference room and around our community. I'm Sigourney.
I'm Ron.
And we are Deplorable Rhetoric. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to be part of the show, you can always call in at 443-272-5922. You can also go to www.shesthebossradio.com or listen to us on tunein.com or Shoutcast. Tell Alexa or Siri to play She's the Boss Radio. You can also follow She's the Boss Radio on Facebook, She's the Boss Radio on Twitter, WSTBRN on IG, and WSTBR on Twitch and Tumblr. All right, so let's get going with news. I don't really think I have anything about COVID. I don't think there's anything new to talk about with that. I haven't seen. Oh wow, that's. Oh, okay. Well, the first thing that did pop up was something about COVID. I don't even know how that happened, but anyway, so, I feel like we've seen this. What just happened? I'm so confused. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. It's like what? There we go. Jeez. Okay. So I was trying to get to a particular website so that I could see what was going on. Anyway, with news. Okay, well, I guess there's just really nothing new going on with anything involving like COVID or whatever. I know I did see something the other day, but I guess it has now disappeared. I don't. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just move on. We'll just mention this because why not? It has to deal with health. Yeah. We'll say. So WBAL-TV, this came out. This particular article came out 12 minutes ago, but I did get a notification earlier this morning about this. And I already thought this happened, but apparently not. But Henrietta Lacks's family settles a lawsuit against pharmaceutical company. Yeah, I thought they did this already. I thought the family already got money, but apparently if they did, they're getting more money. So the family of Henrietta Lacks settled a lawsuit against the biotech company Thermo Fisher Scientific last Monday night. The settlement stems from the family's allegations that the use of Lacks's cells following her death without her permission, which were used and are still used for medical research. The family claimed unjust enrichment by Thermo Fisher Scientific Inc., a company that used Lacks's cell line to make products and profits. Attorneys for the family, Ben Crump, good old Ben Crump, and Chris Seeger released a statement saying members of the he has about 100 cases going right now. Members of the family of Henrietta Lacks and Thermo Fisher have agreed to settle the litigation filed by Henrietta Lacks's estate in U.S. District Court in Baltimore. The terms of the agreement will be confidential. The parties are pleased that they were able to find a way to resolve this issue outside of court and will have no further comment about the settlement. The lawsuit was filed exactly 70 years after the day Lacks died, which was October 4th, 1951. Thermo Fisher Scientific initially sought to have the case dismissed, claiming the statute of limitations ran out a long time ago. Of course they did. Like they're going to miss whatever amount they're giving this family.
Right. After you profited from this family.
Yeah, exactly. WBAL-TV 11 News has, I mean, I don't think on really anything there should be statute limitations. I'm going to just say that. I don't care. Has reported on the treatment Lacks received as a patient at Johns Hopkins Hospital in 1951, how she suffered from cervical cancer and doctors took tissue, now known as HeLa, which, Henrietta Lacks HeLa, cells from her without permission. The cells are used in scientific research and have helped develop polio and COVID-19 vaccines. At least they named it after her. The company has said it had nothing to do with this conduct. Wait, what? The company had said it had nothing to do with this conduct, and many companies worldwide are using the cells. Yeah, because, I mean, y'all, like you said, you gave them out to everybody. Saying this is an open commercial practice. There is no law against Thermo Fisher cultivating the Gila cell line.
But you did not get it with consent.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the major thing. People don't seem to understand what the word consent means. I don't understand. Like, y'all just don't get it. Like, what's happening?
Just ask for consent with anything at this point.
Yeah, like, I'm so confused. Wow, I went way far back. Okay. That just means we did not put a lot in here. Shark Week.
It's been a busy week. No, I don't even.
Yeah, Jackie Smith. Why'd you put this in here?
I don't know.
She keeps putting stuff in our shared thing just to remember instead of like sending it to herself. Or so she throws stuff in here, and I'm just like, what is this?
I don't pay attention to it. Move on.
Yeah, but it's hard because it mixes
I
in
know.
with everything else, and it's confusing. So just send it to yourself or send it to me individually.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, yeah. But besides all that, like I said, I haven't been seeing anything about COVID that's recent. It's still around. It's still, no one really knows why it spikes in the summer. Like, what do you mean?
I thought the heat was supposed to kill it.
I don't think so.
Remember Trump?
Should you apologize if you infect someone with COVID? Okay. Someone asked Miss Manners.
What?
Whatever.
You shouldn't be
Yeah,
out and
I
around
don't-
people if you have.
I don't
COVID.
know. I mean, yes, I think there was something where they were saying heat kind of suppressed it, but okay. But to I don't know what's going on there. Just sorry, guys. Should've done that. Anyway, let's just go into the COVID data tracker. We'll just talk in general about this for the next 2 minutes before we hit break. So this is the CDC's website, data update for the United States. Hospitalizations, admissions, 8,035. That is up 12% in the most recent week. Now, the data they got was from July 16th to the 22nd. So total hospitalizations period, I guess, since like March 2020, maybe, is 6,224,831. And of course, it would be a lot higher if people actually went to the hospital when they got infected, but YOLO. So deaths, 0.9%. Again, that's from the 16th to the 22nd. No change in the most recent week, which is good. I don't know why they have the arrow trending down, but okay. But no change. And the total deaths, 1,135,919. Of course, that could be lower or higher, really. Vaccinations, total updated bivalent vaccines doses distributed, 144,182,870, and that's through July 12th. So, yeah. That is what's happening with COVID as far as hospitalizations and stuff like that. I don't really know what I expected. Total deaths. I guess I expect, and again, this is just U.S. Obviously, if it was worldwide, it'd be a lot more.
Right.
But I don't know if I expected more or less than 1.1 million. I guess I really didn't think about it. To be honest, I don't really think about COVID much anymore. I mean, I haven't in a while. I still see people with masks, but now it's almost like, when you just set something somewhere, like a messy table, and you have all that stuff there, it just kind of blends in after a while.
Yeah.
Like things are just there. That's how masks are on people's faces to me. Like, it's just now an accessory. Like, I don't really pay attention to it. So I'm just like, oh, COVID's still a thing? Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's still affecting people. I mean, again, a 12% increase and from 1 week to the next is quite a bit. And you're still talking about 8,000 hospitalizations. So that is something.
Yeah.
So we got to go to break now. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Jenny James for Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner. You've probably been home a lot more. Maybe you have kids like me who spill all the time, and you've noticed that your carpet's not looking so good. Why don't you call Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner? They use a dry extraction service, so you won't have wet carpet all day long, and you can get back to doing the things you love with your family immediately. And it's a way to make your room healthier while improving your indoor air quality. You can do tile, slate, granite, ceramic, area rugs, and yes, they're pet friendly too. Why don't you get a free, no obligation estimate today? neatlydonesanantonio.com.
Beauty's in the eye. We complicate things when all along it's just perfect as it is. Beauty is from within. It's how you feel, not as how others see you. Skincare shouldn't be complicated. She's the Boss believes skincare should be nurturing, easy to use, smell delicious, feel refreshing, and look incredible. She's the Boss Cosmetics and Skincare brings you our botanical-based skincare line that's gentle, uncomplicated, and extremely effective for men, women, and youth. Feel confident and radiate a power glow that flows from the inside out. Exude an assurance that extends from the home into the conference room. Visit us at www.shes-the-boss.com or call us at 866-494-5945 to get yours today.
You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? She's the boss. Radio Network.
All right, guys.
Get that out of my system first. Okay, go ahead.
All right, guys. So we are moving on, and we did not do. We should have done and pick something to talk about here. So let's talk about this. This must have come from Iran because I don't remember this. But this is Al Jazeera posting on X, which everybody knows is Twitter. Mm-hmm. It says a group of Israeli settlers were filmed tearing out pages of several copies of the Quran and throwing them on the ground after they raided a Palestinian mosque in the village of Urif in the occupied West Bank. Yeah, I've been seeing this stuff has been happening over there. Of course, like Israelis are doing the most. I personally don't have any updates about this, but in the video you see a guy. He's also a dog? Yeah, he's holding a dog and he's just picking up Qurans and just tearing pages out and just throwing them all around. For one, it's just the level of disrespect that you're seeing here.
Yeah.
As someone who could care less about religion, I still think that that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because that is someone's belief system. That is, I mean, if they did that to them with the Torah, they would lose their minds. And so I think it's really, it's just upsetting to see something like that.
Especially since the Israelis try to portray themselves as the most peaceful, loving, I don't want no trouble kind of thing. They keep to themselves. No, a lot of times when you see them and you talk to them, they talk peace.
Average people, sure.
Yeah, talk peace, but they forget that their country, Israel, is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
the leaders. Let me just say that.
And that's the thing about it. Yeah, the government is one thing, and then of course, like the people or another thing. Like I don't want to be blamed for stuff that Trump did, and it's sad that, I mean, people had their opinions about America before then, because America was ridiculous before Trump came through too. Like our government was doing stupid stuff, but he made it, of course, much worse. Okay, so I just briefly found something on the Council on Foreign Affairs. I just kind of put in Israeli-Palestine, and then like conflict popped up. I was like, yeah, sure, let's go with that. But it says, what is the U.S. policy on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? So the United States has long tried to negotiate a resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but several factors, including deep divisions between and within the parties and declining U.S. interest in carrying out its traditional honest broker role, have hurt the chances of a peace deal. So the summary here that they have: the decades-long conflict between Israelis and Palestinians is rooted in competing claims to the Holy Land and includes disputes over borders, Jerusalem, security, and Palestinian refugees. The United States has long sought a solution to the conflict that results in two states, although the Trump administration adopted policies that diverged from that goal. The Biden administration has reaffirmed U.S. support for a two-state solution, but hasn't moved to restart negotiations. It has instead promoted Israeli-Arab normalization and resumed aid for Palestinians. So the article, this is introduction. So let's just skip down to the what is the conflict
Nitty-gritty.
about? So the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is rooted in a century-long territorial dispute over the Holy Land, a Middle Eastern region with great religious and historical significance to Christians, Jews, and Muslims. Well, just make it its own land. Nobody owns it. Jesus. Increasing numbers of Jews began moving to Ottoman Palestine, a predominantly Arab region, following the 1896 publication of Theodor Herzl's The Jewish State, which promoted the idea of a haven for Jews in their ancient homeland to escape anti Semitism in Europe. Or you can take the spot and just divide it. Do that then. Like, I don't understand why this is so complicated. But anyway, the migration accelerated after the Holocaust of World War II, in which Nazi Germany killed 6 million Jews. And, I mean, in total, killed like 10 million people. But yes, 6 million of them were like Jews. In 1947, after years of Arab Jewish violence, the UN General Assembly voted for the establishment of two states in Palestine, one Jewish and the other Arab. Shortly after, the Jewish community in Palestine declared Israel an independent state, prompting hundreds of thousands more Jews to immigrate and precipitating a war launched by neighboring Arab states. For their part, Palestinian Arabs say Jews have usurped their ancestral homeland with help from Western powers, including the United States and the United Kingdom. They referred to Israel's establishment and its defeat of Allied Arab armies in the 1948 war as the Nakba, or catastrophe, which the United Nations estimated uprooted more than 700,000 Palestinians. In the decades since, the Israeli-Palestinian dispute has continually flared into conflict, including multi-state wars, armed uprisings, intifadas, and terrorist acts. A major turning point was the 1967 Six-Day War, which culminated in Israel's occupation of East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and Gaza. In its aftermath, the UN Security Council adopted Resolution 242, which called for Israel to withdraw from occupied lands to secure and recognize borders in exchange for peace. The resolution lacked details, but nonetheless was a milestone, becoming the basis for future diplomacy to end the Arab-Israeli conflict. So let's go down to what are the U.S. interests in this dispute. The Middle East has long been of central importance to the United States as successive administrations pursued a broad set of interrelated goals, including securing vital energy resources, staving off Soviet and Iranian influence, ensuring the survival and security of Israel and Arab allies, countering terrorism, promoting democracy, and reducing refugee flows. U.S. had big goals, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Okay. Correspondingly, the United States has sought to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian... Yeah, how did Kushner do with that? Correspondingly, the United States has sought to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian... These letters are killing my tongue and my mouth, man. I can't... My brain is not functioning right now. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which has been a major driver of regional dynamics, with an eye towards obtaining these strategic objectives while balancing its support for Israel and pushing for broader regional stability. At the same time, the dispute has been a core concern of the American Jewish community and Christian whatever they are.
Evangelists.
Yeah, that's not what it says, though.
Oh, okay.
Both strong supporters of Israel. Evangelicals. There we go. I got it. However, U.S. interest in resolving the conflict has waned in recent years after the start of the 2011 uprisings, commonly known as the Arab Spring, the wars in Syria, and that's come up recently in the news. I think Assad's back at it. And Yemen, Iran's push for dominance in the region, and terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda and the self-proclaimed Islamic State posed more imminent threats to U.S. interests. Additionally, U.S. relations with Iran and the Arab Gulf states no longer seem to hinge on Israeli-Palestinian issues, making the conflict even less of a priority. So it says, how has the U.S. been involved? The United States has been a central player in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict for more than half a century. Mm-hmm. It became involved shortly after World War II, joining the United Kingdom in a 1946 inquiry that recommended 100,000 Holocaust survivors relocate to Palestine, which would be neither a Jewish nor an Arab state. The United States then became the first country to recognize Israel as a sovereign nation in 1948. Wait. After the 1967 Six-Day War, the United States attempted to mediate the broader Arab-Israeli conflict along with Britain, France, Russia, and the United Nations. However, it was the 1973 war, in which Israel struggled early on to defend itself against invading Egyptian and Syrian forces, that compelled the United States to take the lead in future diplomacy. Sure. Although Israel won the conflict militarily, the Arab powers developed a major psychological blow. Okay. The war was also a major turning point for U.S. foreign policy in that it prompted Arab oil producers to impose a harmful oil embargo on the United States, and it brought the United States, which supported Israel, and the Soviet Union, which armed Egypt and Syria, close to a nuclear confrontation after a period of I don't know, some French word. I don't know what that is. The war also proved a boon for the Palestinian cause, with the Arab League recognizing the Palestine Liberation Organization, or PLO, as the sole legitimate representative of the Palestinian people in 1947. So, how much U.S. aid are there prospects for the conflict's resolution? Let's just skip down to that. Oh, their answer is just no.
Yeah.
It's like, no. The outlook for Israeli-Palestinian negotiations is bleak. So, no. With the divisions between the two sides further aggravated by the Abraham Accords.
Don't look at me.
The 2021 Israeli-Hamas conflict and the escalation in violence that began in 2022, the deadliest year for Israelis and West Bank Palestinians since the second Intifada ended in 2005. Furthermore, it is highly unlikely that the Palestinians will receive a package of concessions. Yes, highly. Concessions from Israel that is more favorable than those that they have rejected in the past. And political divisions between Hamas and the PA remain a challenge to any further negotiated settlements. I mean, at least Palestine is trying to hang in there. Like, no, we want what we want.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But the thing is that the land, from what they're saying, used to be Palestinian land, and you gave Israel a little bit, and they wanted to take the whole thing.
That's what I thought I had heard. So my thing is like, well, why doesn't it go back to them? Like, I don't understand.
Girl.
But that's bureaucracy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Experts say these dynamics have raised the prospect of a one-state solution, which some argue has already become reality. Many observers view that outcome as perilous, given the possibility that, with Arabs forming at least half the population, Israel will no longer be a Jewish state. And if Israel were to deny Palestinians equal rights to remain a Jewish state, that would undermine its future as a democracy. Despite these concerns, there's some interest in the notion of a one-state solution. In January 2023, a joint Israeli-Palestinian poll found that 52% of Israel's Arab citizens would support a shared state with equal rights for Jewish and Palestinian citizens, compared to just 20% of Israelis' Jewish citizens. About 1 in 3 Palestinians say they would support a plan. Well, go with the majority. Screw it.
But both needs to be represented. Both of them need to be represented.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a good bit on both sides that are like, yeah, let's do this. So go for that, because something has to give. I mean, I remember, last year it got really crazy. A lot of explosives were fired, a lot of people killed, and you're talking about children, women, men, everybody, dogs, cats, whatever's over there, it all got hit. And at some point, it just has to stop. Like, this cannot keep going. Mm-hmm. Like, this has been going for far too long. But anyway, it is time for a break. We'll be right back.
You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? She's the boss. Radio Network.
Yeah, that's the sound of today's business community. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and only the strong survive. The challenge is navigating the ever-changing business environment to put your business in the forefront. So how does your business keep up with the changes? That's where She's the Boss Network comes in. She's the Boss Network is an internet media network that's been helping businesses like yours get the exposure that you're looking for at reasonable cost by way of radio and video. They'll help you stay successful by navigating change and seeing the big picture. After She's the Boss Network analyzes your business and marketing strategies, you'll start to see a media presence like you've never seen in your business before. And She's the Boss Network doesn't stop there. They use their findings to create a practical plan of action, a plan that will get your business from where you are to where you need to be. There you go. Lock those dogs up for good by giving She's the Boss Network a call at 866-494-5945, extension 101, or by checking their website at she'sthebossradio.com. Again, that's 866-494-5945, extension 101, or she'sthebossradio.com.
Bored with the traditional wedding, birthday, or special occasion celebrations? Do you feel like you just don't want all of the pressure of coordinating your own event? Do your friends all seem to become professional event planners for your memorable moments? Are you thinking of getting engaged and want a romantic way of doing it? Let us design it for you. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Let our photographers help you to make a statement. Want to make an impression with a beautiful arrangement? Speak with our floral designers. Zeal Enterprises, an all-inclusive event management company that provides complete consulting and coordinating services for weddings, anniversaries, reunions, theme and birthday parties, festivals, conventions, and conferences. Our team of professionals are excited to work with you. Call today, 866-494-5945, or go online to www.zealbnr.com to begin designing your event. Remember, in everything you do, do it with zeal.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio Network.
All right, guys. So we're gonna stay across the water. This time in Africa. I wish I knew how to. Never mind. Anyway, so I was gonna sing like some song. I started singing like "Circle of Life" or something.
Oh shoot! No, I got a song for you though.
Hakuna. It's like, let me stop.
That is not African.
So it is African. Burkina Faso, Mali warn against military intervention in Niger. So this is from Al Jazeera a few hours ago. I tried to find the most up-to-date thing I could, and this is from today. So Niger's neighbors say, and this is not Nigeria, it's Niger. It's the N-word with one less G. Niger's neighbors say any intervention to restore deposed President Mohamed Bazoum will be considered a declaration of war against them. I mean, if I was Niger, I'd be like, mind your business. It's our country.
Right.
Like, you in a whole other country. Worry about your own leaders.
Right.
But we'll read on and see what the problem exactly is, because I have briefly seen some things, but I am not sure exactly what's going on. So,
as long as it's not over east, you know me, I don't care.
So anyway, the military governments of Burkina Faso and Mali have warned that any military intervention against last week's coup leaders in Niger would be considered a declaration of war against their nations. Niger's neighbors issued the warning in joint statements read out in their national broadcasters on Monday. Okay. Days after West African leaders threatened to use force to reinstate Niger's deposed President Mohamed Bazoum. The transitional governments of Burkina Faso and Mali expressed their fraternal solidarity to the people of Niger, who have decided with full responsibility to take their destiny in hand and assume the fullness of their sovereignty before history, the military government of the two countries said. Any military intervention against Niger would be tantamount to a declaration of war against Burkina Faso and Mali. They warned, adding that such a move could result in disastrous consequences that could destabilize the entire region. What do you call the Burkina people? Burkinabe? The Burkinabe and Malayan military authorities also said they refused to apply the illegal, illegitimate, and inhumane sanctions against the people and authorities of Niger. The coup in Niger on July 26 has sent shockwaves against West Africa, pitting the country's former Western allies and regional bodies against other countries in the region. Niger's coup leaders, who have named General, I said it. I said no hard names. I mean, the first name alone is like 12 letters. Abdurrahmani
Abdullah
Chiani.
Okay.
I think Chiani's last name. It's TCH. I don't know how that sounds, but like T'Challa, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Mm-hmm.
Chiani? Okay.
Yeah.
I butchered that, but I got through it. The former presidential guard chief, as head of state, said they overthrew Bazoum over poor governance and discontent with the way he handled security threats from groups linked to Al Qaeda and ISIS, or ISIL, ISIL. The power grab, which marks the seventh military takeover in less than 3 years in West and Central Africa, drew immediate condemnation from the African Union, the United States, the United Nations, the European Union, and other powers. Any commentary? You're huffing and puffing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just disgusted.
Okay.
That's all.
So regional bloc ECOWAS, ECOWAS has imposed sanctions, including a halt in all financial transactions and a national assets freeze. It also said it could authorize force to reinstate Bazoum, who observers believe is being held at his house in the capital of Niamey. Sure. In addition to Burkina Faso and Mali, what is it? Guyana? No.
Guyana is
No, it's
in,
not Guyana.
in South
It's
Africa.
not
I mean, South
Guyana.
America.
I keep saying it's not. And Guineas. I don't know how to say it. I can't remember. Anyway, the president, Mamadi Doumbouya, whose government was also the result of a coup, has also expressed disagreement with the sanctions recommended by ECOWAS, including military intervention. In a social media post on Monday, Doumbouya's office said the sanctions are options that would not be a solution to the current problem, but would lead to humanitarian disaster whose consequences could extend beyond the borders of Niger. Doumbouya's office also said it had decided not to apply these sanctions, which it considered illegitimate and inhumane, and urged ECOWAS to reconsider its position. What the hell does that even stand for? I don't even remember. I mean, that's weird. Why do you not say what that stands for?
I'm searching for this article and I can't find it.
Regional block equals. Okay. Well, I don't know what that stands for because it does not, for some reason, say it in the article.
What is it called?
ECOWAS. The expressions of support from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea? Is that how I say Guinea? Guinea?
You can, yeah.
Okay, this is Guinea. But I was like, okay.
Oh, Economic Community of West Africa.
All right. Came as Niger's military attempt to consolidate its coup by arresting top officials of the toppled government. The mines minister, oil minister, and head of the ruling party were among those taken into custody on Monday, according to Bazoum's PNDS party. The coup leaders had previously arrested the interior minister, transport minister, and a former defense minister, the party said. Meanwhile, a U.S. official on Monday said the coup had not been fully successful, and that there was still an opportunity to reinstate Bazoum, who was, the first How would I say Nigerian? That sounds like I'm saying Nigerian. First person from Nigeria who's president to be democratically elected through a peaceful transition of power. France, Niger's former colonial ruler, and Germany echoed those comments. The first photos of Bazoum since the coup appeared on Sunday evening, sitting on a couch smiling beside Chad's president Mahatma Deby, who had flown in to mediate between the government and military. Deby is yet to comment publicly on his discussion in Niamey. Earlier on Monday, the coup leaders in Niger alleged that Bazoum's government had authorized a French attack on the presidential palace, a claim Paris has denied. Anti-French sentiment helped stoke ongoing pro-coup protests outside Paris's embassy in Niamey, where demonstrators could be heard chanting "Long live Russia" and "Down with France." Yeah, I saw the "Long live Russia." I mean, it was in French, but
See
I
Russia.
mean, you can see what Russia is. They just put an E on the end instead of an A. And "Down with France," and it said like "Viva la Russia." Like, okay.
Yeah, so we
Everybody
know what
knows
that means.
Viva.
Yeah.
Or however you say it in French. It's not "Viva," but international observers fear the instability in Niger could create an opportunity for organizations like the Wagner Group, a private mercenary company based in Russia. Wagner's leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, whatever, spoke approvingly about the coup over the weekend, saying the situation had been brewing for a while. The former colonizers are trying to keep the people of Africa countries in check, he added in his audio message on the Telegraph app. His statements, however, struck a stark contrast with that of the Kremlin in Russia, which called the situation in Niger a cause for serious concern. Yeah, even reading all that, I'm still like, what?
It's so confusing because the French left.
Yeah, so so who's president right now?
There is no leadership at this point.
All right, so
Everybody's
it was
hiding.
Bazoum, but they got him out.
Yeah. So now
And
to install their own their own leader, it's becoming a problem because you have direct, protesters that are not allowing the new president or the new leader to be installed.
Right.
Shoot. You see Eritrea, we got our hands in our pockets. We gonna keep walking, head down. Mind your business. Mind your business.
So, timeline, the history of ECOWAS military interventions in the 3 decades. So on July 26th, member of Niger's presidential guard deposed, some of this is just going to be me reiterating.
Yeah.
Deposed presidential Mohamed Bazoum in a coup, the 5th successful one in 9 attempts in West Africa since 2020. There has been, I don't know why I said that. This has prompted the Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS, to impose sanctions and issue a 1-week ultimatum to the interim military government to reinstall Bazoum or face possible use of force. Okay. All right. So ECOWAS is telling the military to get it together and put Bazoum's ass back in power. Okay.
Yeah.
If it goes ahead, it won't be the first time the 15-member regional bloc has intervened. So in 1990, there was Liberia. In 89, Charles Taylor led a militia against the Liberian government, leading to the outbreak of civil war there. Consequently, the regional bloc made an unprecedented move to intervene in 1990. 97, it was Sierra Leone. Mog's next step was, okay, I think they messed up. Oh no. Why is it different? Why are the letters different? What's happening?
With the ECO.
So what does that stand for? Oh, okay. So the Economic Community of Western African States Monitoring Group.
Yeah.
ECOMOG.
Yeah, we're not that creative.
What are you talking about?
Like with the acronyms.
Oh. Yeah,
Shorten
so
that thing.
ECOMOG's next step was the Sierra Leone capital, Freetown, in 97, following the overthrow of the elected civilian government. In 99, it was Guinea-Bissau, whatever. The next stop for ECOMOG was a ceasefire mission in Guinea after hostilities broke out, and an attempted coup in 98. In 03 was Ivory Coast. I can't pronounce that. 2003 is Liberia again. 2013 was Mali. 2017, the Gambia. The Gambia. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was 2013. But yeah, so they've intervened, and I mean, I don't think all of those were successful. It only said 5 were. But yeah, so they're in there to try, I guess, and help whatever cause they see fit. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on across the water, not just in America, even though America's always got something going on. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see what's happening over there. But.
Yeah, I just want to know what the motivation was for the coup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that they didn't really care for homeboy, Bazoum, and they wanted him
But
One
there
in
was,
amount.
yeah, I understand that because I know every country in the world might not like the whole citizens. All those citizens are not going to like the president, the leader at that time, but they had to have seen this coming.
Right.
But I just want to know what he did that triggered this. Or
We'll
didn't he
find
do it?
out after the break. We'll be right back.
You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? She's the boss. Radio Network.
Beauty's in the eye. We complicate things when all along it's just perfect as it is. Beauty is from within. It's how you feel, not as how others see you. Skincare shouldn't be complicated. She's the Boss believes skincare should be nurturing, easy to use, smell delicious, feel refreshing, and look incredible. She's the Boss Cosmetics and Skincare brings you our botanical-based skincare line that's gentle, uncomplicated, and extremely effective for men, women, and youth. Feel confident and radiate a power glow that flows from the inside out. Exude an assurance that extends from the home into the conference room. Visit us at www.shes-the-boss.com or call us at 866-494-5945 to get yours today.
Hey, I'm Jenny James for Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner. You've probably been home a lot more. Maybe you have kids like me who spill all the time, and you've noticed that your carpet's not looking so good. Why don't you call Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner? They use a dry extraction service, so you won't have wet carpet all day long, and you can get back to doing the things you love with your family immediately. And it's a way to make your room healthier while improving your indoor air quality. You can do tile, slate, granite, ceramic, area rugs, and yes, they're pet friendly too. Why don't you get a free, no obligation estimate today? NeatlyDoneSanAntonio.com.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio Network.
Okay, so we're back, and we're going to come back over to the U.S. and talk about our own problems. And one big orange problem that we have is Donald Trump. He's still around, unfortunately. This article is from Salon. It says, incandescently stupid. Former DHS official says he had to dumb down classified memos for Trump. But who the hell is surprised by that? Miles Taylor, who served as chief of staff at the Department of Homeland Security under Donald Trump, shared how he often had to oversimplify national security reports for the former president. This 50-page memo, this is something he, what do I have to say now? X'd? Can I say tweeted?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can.
Truth Socialed? I don't know.
No, this isn't True Social.
No, but isn't he
No,
still
that's-
using Truth Social?
No, I'm talking about the article. I'm
Oh,
reading.
yeah, okay.
This is the guy who
X.
did this. Put it on X. But no, that's bleeded or something. Whatever True Social is, I think it's bleeded. So this 50-page memo that we would normally give to any other president about what his options are is something Trump literally can't read. The man doesn't read, and we all knew that. Mariah and I joked about that for years while he was president. We've got to boil this down into a one-pager in his voice, Taylor told podcast host Brett Meiselas on Tuesday. And so I had to write this incandescently stupid memo called something like Afghanistan, How to Put America First and Win. And then bullet by bullet, I summed up this highly classified memo into Trump's sort of bombastic language because it was the only way he was going to understand, Taylor added. I mean, I literally said in there, if we leave Afghanistan too fast, the terrorists will call us losers. But if we want to be seen as winners, we need to make sure the Afghan forces have the strength to push back against these criminals. I mean, it was that dumb, and that's how you had to talk to him. But I think the sad part about that is he's also already, I think, okay, that was it. Okay. So he's already going to talk like that, but then he's also, I think, just going to use what's written. So he's gonna go out there and say, "Well, if we leave, it's gonna be dumb." And it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, he already talks like that, but I think in some ways that might have encouraged him to talk like that more. Like, well, if they wrote it like that, then it should be okay to say it like that. No, they had to because you're a freaking idiot.
Yeah. But what's said in the West Wing should not be presented to, the people the way it's.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I guess it was. Yeah, I mean, this stuff is classified stuff. He said, but well, that's true.
Well,
so
he
wouldn't
took
be
it
saying
home with him,
Oh yeah, but yeah. So, but who knows if they took any of this stuff? Probably, but yeah. I mean, it's that's Trump for you guys. That's just so. This is from today, a few hours ago, from the Hill. A federal grand jury probing efforts to block the transition of power following the 2020 election could soon return an indictment against former President Trump. The grand jury has intended to meet Tuesdays and Thursdays. Several recent signals suggest an indictment is imminent, and Trump himself predicted that charges would come any day now. I assume that an indictment from deranged Jack Smith and his highly partisan gang of thugs pertaining to my peacefully and patriotically speech will be coming out any day now as yet another attempt to cover up all the bad news about bribes, payoffs, and extortion coming from the Biden camp. This seems to be the way they do it. Election interference, prosecutorial misconduct, Trump wrote on Truth Social on Monday. So far, an indictment has not surfaced in the investigation, but signs point to one looming. Expectations of charges in the probe have grown ever since Trump publicly indicated that he received a target letter from the Justice Department. The letters are typically sent when prosecutors believe they have enough evidence to bring charges against an individual. In the classified documents case, prosecutors sent Trump a target letter 20 days before he was indicted, court filings show. Trump has said he received a target letter in the January 6th probe, July 16th, just over 2 weeks ago. Adding to the anticipation, Trump's attorneys huddled Thursday with special counsel Jack Smith's office as a grand jury was meeting in Washington, D.C. A similar meeting occurred between Trump's lawyers and prosecutors in the classified documents case June 5th, just 3 days before a grand jury voted on charges. Trump's legal battles took a twist later Thursday, however, as Smith's office unveiled a superseding indictment in the classified documents case in Florida. Yeah. So, let me ask that. So prosecutors, go ahead.
Okay.
I was just going to say, prosecutors revealed one new charge of willful retention of documents and two new obstruction charges, accusing the former president of working with two aides to attempt to delete surveillance footage at Mar-a-Lago. One of the aides, Walt Nata, was already charged in the case, but prosecutors Thursday also added Carlos D. Oliveira, a second worker, as co-defendant. Trump has repeatedly lambasted Smith in recent days after the new round of charges and the former president's attack have continued as attention returns to grand jury activity in D.C. this week.
This is what gets me, that blows my mind. It's like, I would have quit versus helping him, knowing we've had how many decades of seeing him being an idiot. Yeah. So he tells you move these classified documents, and I just wave my hands and thought declassified. So they're declassified.
That's how it works.
So move it. Like, I would have been like, I quit. Like, I ain't touching this because I'm not going to be named in your legal federal government coming after me. Do you know how scary that is? The federal government coming after you for something you did for somebody else that you thought was okay.
And it's tough because people are like, oh, this is my boss. This is the president. This is whoever. And you're like, well, I got to do it because, something might happen. But, yeah, you got to look at the bigger picture.
I need to find some staff like that just do whatever I ask them to do instead of talking back.
Trump also has, she apologized. Trump has another indictment that's looming beyond the January 6th probe is coming out of Georgia, where Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis has advised court officials she could bring charges in the high-profile case in roughly the first half of August. The work is accomplished. We've been working for 2.5 years. We're ready to go. Will is told 11 Alive on Saturday.
And he actually requested that she be removed from the case.
Of course, he does that with everybody. But yeah, that was quick. We really need more time to talk about Trump, but we do have to go. Appreciate you guys listening in. This is She's the Boss Radio Network, which of course is running 24/7. If you want to check out all the shows that are on this great network, you can go to www.she'sthebossradio.com. You can always go to She's the Boss Radio on Facebook, She's the Boss Radio on Twitter, WSTBRN on IG, WSTBR on Twitch and Tumblr. You can like the notification bell, get all the live notifications when, I don't know how many shows we have, but when all the shows go on. Yeah, sorry, I went out of order, so I'm throwing myself off. But anyway, we appreciate you guys listening, and we will talk at y'all next Tuesday. You can find us Deplorable Rhetoric on Facebook, Deplorable_Rhetoric on Instagram, and we rant to rave, the number 2 on Twitter. Bye.
On X.
On X, yes.
You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? She's the boss. Radio Network.